Dear all, welcome and thank you so much for joining me again. I'm very happy to have you with me today. Today I would like to talk with you about something that I find always very scary to talk about, because it comes so close to who we are and what our truest, highest and for real self-expression is about. And that has everything to do with vulnerability. And in the past weeks, and especially now after getting out of lockdown, I feel more than ever the necessity to talk about vulnerability. Because we are now living in a time where we can show up, we can share ourselves and express what we truly feel. The only thing with vulnerability, and that is as well what I see when I coach my people, my clients, is that often when it comes to vulnerability they feel very uncomfortable and they have the sense of losing control. Like, okay, but if I'm going to talk about this part, then perhaps the other person is not listening anymore, or not connected anymore, or has a judgment about it. And what I've learned in the past weeks, having conversations with family, friends, clients, sharing how my current situation is, what my current situation is about, what I find important values in friendship, in family relationships, all those things. I have discovered that vulnerability is not so much to do for the other person, but vulnerability is something you do for yourself. By showing what is living in your heart, and by doing so with the intention to make it constructive, with the intention that you want to work things out for the better of the both of you, that you want to step into the dialogue, the sincere dialogue, is that in premise you help yourself. You help yourself to complete things, to trust yourself, your inner self, and to stand on your feet. So you actually can heal yourself and increase your self-confidence by being vulnerable, by sharing and expressing. But what I've discovered as well is that by showing your vulnerability, that you have the opportunity to help the other person too. Like, for example, I had a very vulnerable conversation with my father lately, and I actually was there with the intention to express and share with him what I've been through in the past months. And I wanted to hear his opinion, I wanted to know how he was doing, and I wanted to go into a more profound level of communication with him. And by taking that step, and being the first to take the step, we saw that we together created a new space in which we could talk about other subjects more profoundly. And to be honest, I see the same things when I work in companies. I see the same things when I work with clients who have to stand on the stage. Because most of the time the biggest fear we have is the fear of thinking that we cannot rely on ourselves. That's our biggest fear. The biggest fear, whatever fear it's going to be, whether it's finance, money, love, relationships, whatever the fear is always about that we cannot trust ourselves in a certain situation. Well, actually, by practicing vulnerability, you open the doors to trust. Because the more you express and share your vulnerability, the more you express and share the stories you tell yourself, in situations where you find it necessary to share these things, that you see that the other person is going to open up, and by creating the new space that you increase your self-trust. And by increasing your self-trust, you open as well the door to authentic strength. Because the more you can trust yourself, the more strength you have to face difficult situations and to stand on the stage in front of an audience, to have that difficult conversation with your partner or with your family members or with your friends. Being vulnerable, showing yourself unlimitedly, unconditionally, always leads you to a better result. Perhaps it does not solve the entire situation, but it is there for you, for yourself and what you want to complete with yourself and with the other. So think about it. The next time you find yourself in a totally discomfortable situation, how can I practice my vulnerability in order to change the situation in a better situation where I feel comfortable and complete to take the next step in order to invite the person in front of me to do the same thing? I wish you good luck and hope to see you next time.